It was interesting that so many of you were really were really like taken by this idea of credences or degrees of belief or confidence, thinking that this way of thinking about epistemology is so plausible. It seems to solve these problems really well. And a question I got from a lot of you who had that view was: is there any good reason to say that belief doesn't come in degrees? To say that to stick with the belief on-off system rather than the credence or confidence system. And the answer is, this is a huge debate in epistemology about whether we should choose one system in favor of the other, what the best way to understand our mental life is, and maybe we should make room for both and see how they interact. That's also a huge project in philosophy. So what are some arguments or reasons to say that belief does not come in degrees, or to think there's some use for ordinary belief still? One simple reason is just that we often just ordinarily talk about what we think or what we believe. We don't that often invoke strengths of confidence. So sometimes we do say, I'm 75% sure of this, or I'm 90% confident of this. But often we just say, I think it's going to rain, or I think we're having pizza for dinner tonight or something. We don't invoke strengths. That might be reason to think we don't really have these attitudes of confidence in these cases. We just have the ordinary on-off beliefs. Related to that, it might seem to us, it seems to many people at least, that sometimes we don't have specific levels of confidence at all. So I might ask you, how confident are you that it's going to rain on October 7th, 2026? You might say, I don't have any idea about that. I don't have any confidence at all about that. So it might be that this idea that we have a specific level of confidence in things is not particularly helpful. Nonetheless, we can say we don't believe it. We don't believe that it's going to rain or something like that on that date, and that seems reasonable. And for many things we believe, we sort of maybe just believe them, but don't have a particular level of confidence. And furthermore, this idea that we should be thinking only in terms of confidence, at least here. So this isn't that sometimes we think in terms of confidence, but this idea that we should think only in terms of confidence maybe makes it look like our reasoning is really a lot more complex than we perceive it to be. So when we think about reasoning with beliefs, like I believe that John is taller than Sally, and I believe that John is 6 feet tall. So I might believe that Sally is less than 6 feet tall. This sort of ordinary, easy reasoning to do there, based on the contents of our beliefs. It becomes very challenging to do reasoning if we have credences or confidence. Like if I'm 75% certain that it's going to rain, and I'm 40% certain that it's not, sorry, let me say it this way. If I'm 40% certain that it's going to rain, and I'm 70% certain that it's going to rain or snow, and I am 20% certain that it will both rain and snow, as happens a lot in Hamilton at this time of year, sadly, how confident should I be that it's going to snow? And there's this weird calculation. It's just hard for us to do. So it's not clear we go through these complicated probabilistic ways of reasoning. And in order to get conclusions, we seem to do these simpler things with just beliefs about whether it will rain or snow. Finally, and a bunch of you pointed this out, when we think about confidence, it's maybe less easy to find the connection with knowledge. It seems like knowledge might be really closely connected with regular old on-off beliefs. That might be some part of knowledge or some component of knowledge, but confidence, how does that relate to knowledge? How much confidence is necessary? These are hard questions. And I don't think they're insurmountable. Any of these questions, I'm not sure they're insurmountable. There's a lot of debate about whether we actually our minds are actually like this, whether we can actually reason this way, whether the rules of reasoning really govern beliefs or really govern the strict sort of numerical stuff of credences or just more general beliefs, what the connection would be between knowledge and credences. There's a lot. This is a very hot topic in philosophy. And so I think there's a lot to explore here, but I do think it's not everybody thinks, oh, we should just talk only about confidence, never talk about beliefs again. That doesn't seem, that's not a position that is obviously true to all philosophers. There's all sorts of debate about this. I should just note there's a bunch of references here I can give people who are interested in things to read. Many of you took my course on uncertainty and rationality last spring. My seminar on this, like maybe about a quarter to a third of this class took that. And so they've thought about these issues a lot. They're super interesting. If anyone else wants, I can give you some references. There's even like one or two canonical references of why not to think in terms of credences that are very short, just a few pages. So let me know if you want more information about that. I can pass it along.